Hey guys, welcome back to something I haven't done in a while, but I always get really excited for these. We're gonna do another Red Coin Star commentary video. This is of Divine Sentence Red Coins. This is a huge star for me for many reasons. It's the hardest star I've ever done to date. It's also the hardest star in this hack. So it's a big turning point for me, like who's been pushing to beat this hack for actually a couple of years. Like beating the hardest star is great. It's really been a great feeling. Um, and it's also got a lot of interesting sections. So that's what makes me excited to go through this star and do a commentary vid. So we're gonna get started. Um, I think it's a very like I've heard people describe this level as like a puzzle level, which is weird because it's such a like a precise and hard level. It's also a puzzle level. There's a lot of like I don't know, there's a lot of like things to know about these jumps and things to learn. I've been on this level for like the past 7 to 8 months it took me to beat this, and so much of it was just figuring out strategies like how do I make this more consistent. So coming up we have so as the star begins, we have like a punch in the face. We have a hard section right off the bat. This is the hardest part of the star right in the beginning. Like bam. So this is the star 2 path. And this section is rough. Like you're going to see here a lot of precision, a lot of timing. So this is kind of the first hard part. You have to like kind of like time that, do some precise wall kicks. Shit is hard. This strat here, I know a lot of people do this thing where they like kick all the way back, like dive, do some like clever move. I didn't want to go for that. I tried it a couple times. I'm like, it just feels a little like risky for no reason. So I go for a simple, just do a bunch of kicks like this. At this point, you need to get a good jump off the slope because see those walls over there? Yeah, you need to get enough momentum to go into those walls. So it was hard. Here you need a lot of good camera work. Like the camera work is very challenging. Again, this spawn, by the way, is rough. And like doing it at the start of every attempt was just like it just starts to weigh you down, you know. You're like every time I have to get past this part. So you get on that slope. And Viper brings up a good point. You can like get fucked. You know that like that pink slope I was on earlier? You can carry a weird angle from that slope and it like carries into this section and messes up. It's annoying. Here we have some precise wall kicks. At first, when I did these wall kicks, like I literally felt like, okay, this is like teed on. Like, what am I doing, dude? Like, I'm never gonna be able to do this. After a while, though, I actually did start to get a feel for them. It's a lot of height control, camera work. Like, it's just really hard. But you actually can get a feel for those. They're not like out of reach. Like, dude, when I first played that, I was like, this is literally like peak human. Like, how am I ever gonna do this? But it's actually good. Okay. So once I get out of there, I would argue I've already done the hardest part of the star, but I still have another like 40 minutes. So doesn't mean like doesn't mean I'm close at all. It's just okay. At least I could say I've done the hardest part of the star. I think that's cool. All right, this jump is actually not free. Like it's kind of hard. Like you have to like make sure you jump at the right time. You can overdo it. So now we have like the spawn. Like for all the other stars in the level, like you're gonna be doing this. This is like the spawn of DS. It's actually the spawn of this level is challenging. It's just that by this point I felt good at it because I just played the normal stars so much. I even did practice like run spawn like that. Like this is that type of level. Like you got to practice spawn. So I did feel mostly confident in these jumps. Um, Coming up here, I also had a big cheese. So I don't think anybody else does this to my knowledge. I think this is something I came up with. So normally what you're supposed to do for this jump is like a double arc. And it's actually really hard. I'll be honest. I don't know if I've ever pulled it off. This double arc you're supposed to do. I don't think I've ever gotten it. Literally, like on star one, as I was playing this level, I came up with a strat, and I've been using that strat ever since. Some people might hate it. Some people might love it. Basically, you can see I'm pausing. I'm going for two firsties. So there's basically like a checklist, right? There's three things. Well, I guess you could think of it as two things. There's two things that I need to get in order to like cheese this jump. I need two firsties and I need a quarter frame arch. So as you can see, every time I try it, I check to see if I got the firsties. That's why I'm pausing. So see that pause I'm doing? I'm checking to see if I got the firsties. I'm also checking to see if I got the arch. So see what happened there. I'm going to pause for a sec, just explain. The reason why I pulled back is because I got the arch that time, but I didn't get both firsties. So that's kind of what Viper's saying. So Viper makes a good point. He says the jump is retriable. It's very retriable. I can take as long as I want until I get what I need. So again, I need two firsties and I need that arch. So there I got one. Okay, I didn't get the second one, so you see me pull back. So I got the arch, but I didn't get the second one. The reason why you need two firsties is you'll see it's actually very far away. So like even two firsties sometimes barely makes it. It's a little sus actually. But I don't know. You always want to do like the least amount that works, you know? All right, one, two, bam, got it. So sometimes you can get stuck on that jump for a long time. I would say that was like a medium. That was probably like an average amount of time to get stuck on it. Not too long, not too short. Sometimes you get stuck there a while because you're just trying not to die. I feel like like the safer you play that jump, like the less likely you are to die. But you're also going to be there for longer. So it's like here we got some flashy wall kicks. No, like once you get it down, it's not that bad, but it is pretty complex. You have to have height control. Sometimes you ledge grab that, sometimes you wall kick. Either way. Okay, this next jump coming up, this is going to be my first shout out. So shout out to the player Unenlik because this is a strat I totally ripped from him. Totally ripped from him. So I was getting cooked on this jump in practice, and then I watched a video from Unenlik, and he did this strat where like he lines up the D-pad with that like vertice. You come to the edge, you do this like backflip with this angle, wall kick into that off that pillar, and do that. Now here's the thing about that strat. It looks like really sus. I feel like every time I do it, it looks like I'm gonna die, but you don't. Like trust me, like that I just did. Like it looks like you're about to like die, being on the edge. You'll actually like make it every time. It's actually really consistent. I think I died to that jump like once the whole time. So shout out to an Enlic. Speaking of which, hold on. I'm almost like there's so much going on in this level. I missed another shout out. Another shout out coming up. This is a shout out to the player Ozark. He's a Japanese player. So Ozark came up with this is a setup to like make sure you're on the very edge because you need to do a tight long jump on that platform. See that long jump? That's like an instant long jump. I go for like the crouch thing. Um, that's from Ozark. So I watched him do that because when I was playing this level earlier on, like doing the normal stars, I actually had a hard time getting that long jump. And you have to do it twice for reds. There's going to be a big reclimb later, by the way. You guys will see. Um, so yeah, that's from. So shout outs to Ozark. I mean, this is so coming up. This is a cheese now, like everybody does. But if you want to say shout outs, this is shout outs to Pluto. So Pluto found this is actually the first big cheese I'm going to use. Um, it skips this like weird like eyeball section. Maybe I'll put it on. I could find it, put it on the screen later for a bit. There's this like weird like eyeball part you're supposed to play. Um, if you want to see someone do it intended, definitely go watch Morningstorm. But this is cheese. So it turns out these wall kicks are actually loopable, which means I can keep wall kicking up and just like follow the same loop. So it goes like this. So you do 7 here. So I'm literally counting wall kicks when I play the 7 and then 5. So 7, and in this case I can just get up, so I don't have to do all 7. But it's 7, 5 if you're curious. Now that cheese, by the way, some people said it was easy. I actually died to it sometimes, so I wouldn't agree it was easy. I even died to it in reds. I felt like I always had to focus on it decently well because you have to make sure you're doing the right amount of wall kicks. You have to make sure you're like, what's your height at? Okay, here we have one of the biggest breaks of the star. So this is the rooftop section. Um, again, so I pulled a bit of a pussy move. I'm not gonna lie, a bit of a p word. A lot of people they do these roofs like really fast, like they do like momentum jumps. I just like really slowly back kicked on it. 2 reasons. One, it's just easier, obviously. 2, I wanted to give myself a break. So I feel like if I did these like slow back kicks on this part, not only was it safer, But I gave myself a little time to take a break because I feel like spawn in this level, you have to really focus. So it was nice to take a little breather. By the way, here's like a dumb Pete side moment. Why is he coming over here? I don't know. That's how little you have to pay attention on that part. I'm literally going mindless. And yeah, I agree with Viper. I tend to agree with this philosophy. Like, I don't think it's worth it being flashy if you suck. Um, like I definitely put myself in the I suck category. So I'm not the one to pull off any like flashy moves, especially on a new hardest. Like, nah, dude. My goal is just to get the star. And hey, I ended up getting the star in a little over a week, which is really good. Like, so I think it paid off. Just like trying to go for the safe stuff, dude. Like, don't do anything flashy. This is a level where it might be tempting to be flashy. By the way, there's the Triforce. Any Zelda fans? Kuro had to throw that in. I like that. Okay, this is another strat I came up with, I think. So I stand right on the edge. So this is like killing two birds with one stone. Because one, I get that red. And then I'm also right on the edge. So I can do a turnaround on that. Get me there. So that's something I came up with. I came up with a couple good strats in this level, but I also like borrowed strats from other people. It's like a mix. Okay. All right, here, this ground pound is like not entirely free. I died to it during normal stars. Okay, so I feel like we've had a little break, but now we're coming back to hard parts. Like this is hard. This is kind of the hardest part of like the main climb. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned it, but I do consider like this part of the level like the main climb. Like you'll see why. So the reason why this is kind of hard, it's very simple actually. It's just because slopes be fast, like low key. That's really all there is to it. Um, these slopes are just kind of like aggressive, like so you don't have a lot of time to work with them. And like that pink slope before, that one especially, like when you guys see the pink slope, there's actually some pink slope coming up. Pink slope is quick. Like pink slope you can't play about. Speaking of parts that are kind of hard and aggressive, this triple jump's another problem. I died on this a couple times. So like that 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 triple jump and that like that landing you do, like I feel like you don't have a lot of time to react to that. Like that's kind of quick. Um, so that's pretty tough. All right, here we have kind of an interesting part. I feel like some people you're gonna either love or hate this section. I didn't mind it. We have like amp QSOGs, which in theory I thought this section was gonna like suck. If you actually took your time and like were methodical about it, though, it's actually kind of easy. And I agree with the Viper. Like we think these are like way better than Fire Spew or QSOGs, to be honest. I feel like it's way more because I don't know, Fire Split or QSOGs, like you literally have to like count in your head. I feel like that's cringe. This is actually better because this just makes you think about spacing. I did if you see if you look as I do this, I'm doing a lot of like depth perception checks. See what I'm doing here? I'm looking at a shadow. I feel like that's actually pretty fair. Like I don't mind this section. Not only counting, but the fire homes. I know it's like it's weird, and sometimes like if you're at a very particular point, fire splitters do different things. It's weird. I'm not a fan. There actually was some fire splitter QSOGs in one of the stars in this level. I was not a fan. I'm like, I don't like this. I don't like this. So I think that was actually kind of a unique section. I didn't mind it. I never died to it. Okay, that's not true. Technically, once I was doing a QSOG and I just missed a ledge. I don't count that. What I mean is I never died to the amp. That's what I count. But technically, I did miss the ledge once. That is true. That was a sad day. I think it was actually might have been the day I got the star. I was like, really, bro? Okay. Those pink slopes, I kind of talked over it. You just have to be a little careful because they're fast. They're fast, and like you'll clip out of if you jump on the very top of them, you'll clip. So you really don't have the whole slope to jump work with. So a little tricky. Okay, this part you got to get like a momentum triple jump. I feel like if you're careful, it's just not that hard. By the way, most of what I've been doing the last couple minutes, you have to do again. So you have to be very consistent at this. So yeah, you need a good momentum triple here. There we go. It's not that hard. Yeah, you have to do it 3 times. Pretty crazy. Speaking of doing stuff 3 times, we're getting to a section that For me, it was pretty notorious. I feel like whenever I got to this section, I was like, oh boy, here we go. So this is kind of an interesting jump for a couple of reasons coming up. One, it's one of the most retryable jumps in the level. So you have to kind of make a big call as you play this jump, right? There's like this momentum jump coming up. You have to decide, right? So you'll see in a second. It's probably better. I should just wait till. So what you're trying to get an arc here, right? All right, like sometimes it takes a while to get this arc. I was ready to explain it, and then suddenly I'm like, okay, here we go. So basically, I'll get started. Like how it works is once you clip once you get this arc, right? You have to get this like dive into a momentum jump. Now you have to decide if what you got was like good enough or not. So let's see. Bam, that was good. So see how I landed right on the top of the slope? That I was good. I went for it, right? But you have to decide, did I do it precise enough? If not, you can actually go back. If you just go neutral on that part, you can go back because you just land on the platform. So this jump, I have to do 3 times in the star. So I thought of it as almost like a battle, dude. I was like battling that star. By the way, one of the other times is literally in like 30 seconds because guess what we have? We have a 1 jump reclimb. So there's like a red here for some reason. It literally makes you just reclimb that last jump. I don't know why it exists, but yeah. Um, so this is why you have to do this jump 3 times because there's this little reclimb and then there's another big reclimb. So yeah, this is what I call like people call these like 1 jump reclimbs. Sometimes there's reclimbs that just make you repeat like 1 hard jump. So that's kind of like the only purpose that the coin has. Like you won't die to that coin. It's not hard. Yeah, it's like it's kind of just filler, just inflating the difficulty. Now I have to do this jump again. So this is 2 of 3. Now I don't remember if do I get all these first try? Hopefully I don't, because I'd like to show off the fact that it's retryable, but I might actually just get them all first try. Let's see. Yep, first try. Again, so I nailed it, so I just went for it. But sometimes you're not always gonna nail it. Like sometimes you got to go back. You got to play the safe move. This part I just wait to get an arch, then I dive. Definitely want to kill that Chucky the first time you come around. Okay. So now after a little stretch of like nothing too bad, this is probably the second hardest part of the star after spawn. Definitely easier in spawn. So this part, I'm happy to say, for those who don't know, this is like intended. So a lot of people found this like crazy cheese later in the level where you do like a BLJ, but I went for intended. And kind of the cool thing about intended is that it makes the star even harder. So before I talk about this jump, I just want to mention real quick. I think people have said the difficulty of this star, if you do the cheese, is like 8.8. But if you don't do the BOG strat like I did, I think the star is about 9.0, maybe even 9.1. So because of me doing this intended, I've actually kind of made the star a 9.0, which is really cool. All right, so here we have a C-up slide. You have to be very methodical about like your inputs here, because you can overshoot, undershoot stuff. This section, dude, like that lava bounce, that C-up lava bounce, and these wall kicks I'm about to do, I probably practiced this section the most out of any section. I had to practice this so much, both for star 4, for reds, for everything. So cooked. Yeah, they are harder than they look, definitely. Especially like landing the first one is kind of sus. Because you have to have a good turn. Like, you can be too low, too high. All right, speaking of sus sections, here we have the Strain Olympics. Now, what do I mean by Strain Olympics? Literally, this whole wall kick section, I'm just holding up. Because you have to literally just strain up the whole time. Then I do a camera flip here. This section's hard. So for those who don't know, this section's like kind of a ripoff of Everlasting Encore. There's wall kicks. I almost died there, by the way. There's wall kicks just like that. Everlasting Encore. This whole section's got a little bit of an Everlasting Encore vibe. And actually, coming up, we have a T-Don section kind of ripped off. So there's definitely a lot of D influence. I'll try to point it out when I see it. I might have missed one before. You could argue the sloped roofs are kind of like Course 14. That last jump I just kind of talked over, by the way. It's actually not free. I died to it once. All right, here, like this jump's not that hard. I just take my time on everything. I mean, like at this point, you're pretty far in the star. I'm about halfway. This is about halfway through the star, I would say. Oh, it's hard to say because this video is the whole level, so it looks like I'm near the end. Okay, coming up, we have like this jump's actually free. Viper like kind of helped me on this one. He's like, dude, you don't get corner physics like on that wall kick, so that means you can basically just like hold left, and then that means when you go back in, you have to like tap in. So Viper made me realize, oh, that jump's free. I actually died to that once, and I was like, bro, I'm so cringe. How do you die on that? That's the most like filler jump of all time to die on. I don't think there's a bigger filler jump like I've ever played in any star. Shit was the most filler I've ever seen. Okay, so coming up, this is like the star 4 path. So I mentioned it earlier that there's like a T-Don part. This is the T-Don part coming up. Luckily though, you don't have to go too far down this path. Thank goodness too, because like if you had to do the next jump in this star path, easily 5 out of 5. Like you know how there's only been one 5 out of 5? This easily would have been the second 5 out of 5, and it might even be harder than spawn. I don't know. It might even be harder if you had to do this next jump. So I'm really glad you don't. This is still very deep, by the way. Like Akuro still put this red very deep in the star, but it could have been worse. So I'm thankful. Because the thing about Akuro is, bro, he's not afraid to freaking throw in hard shit in his red coin stars. By the way, so there I was waiting for the Hevo to meet a good cycle. You lava bounce, you get on this slope and you turn around. So like this slope, this section is like the teed-on section. Thankfully though, you just have to get this red over here. And then there's a cool little, this is more cheese than Pluto found, so shout outs to Pluto again. Yeah, like usually the first person who plays a level finds the biggest cheese, and Pluto definitely did. So you can do a ground pound off that slope. When here, you have to watch out for that Goomba. He edge guards. He almost got me there. That Goomba edge guards. But now what we just did is we went to the end of the star 3 path. So we just skipped some jumps on the star 3 path, which is pretty cool. Again, I would recommend if you're interested in what's intended, check out Morningstorm's video. He's gonna play the level very differently. Like what he kind of does is he gets that red on the teed-on slopes, and then he actually like lands on the pink slopes from earlier, if you remember that part. Totally different route, like totally different way of playing the level. So I recommend checking that out. This part's kind of free. There's kind of a free red. I like it though. This is another little breather. After this, there's not really another breather, I'll be honest. This is probably the last one, so. Definitely a very consistently hard star, like, very much. I mean, it's tier 9, I mean, you can't play around tier 9. Yeah, so we have a big reclimb coming up in a little bit. Here, you just watch for the Hevo. When he's done, I'm like, okay. I also have to watch for fire. So fun fact, on my very first day of attempts, my PB died here, which I think like that already, to me, that showed a lot of potential. Because if you think about it, like, I'm pretty damn far in the star. I've done 2 really hard parts. So I was like, damn, okay. I might have some potential, I'm not going to lie. It was also my first death that got past the backflip wall kick, made it all the way to here and died. So I was like, damn. Here, go for a firstie. I don't know, I feel like it's kind of far away. All right, this is kind of an interesting jump. Viper and I kind of looked at this one, actually. At first, I wasn't doing a dive, but we actually added a dive to that strat. I didn't need to do a dive there. I just went for it. It made me feel safer. At first, I was just going for a ledge grab, but I don't know, that pillar, you see me ledge grab, it's kind of far away. So, all right, this jump is literally like, you almost have to do the ending of star 3. Well, actually, that's not true. I should mention, this is kind of cheese. You're actually supposed to like use this like pillar. I don't know if you guys saw, there's like a pillar in the distance. This is actually kind of cheese. Like this, so these wall kicks, they're not that hard once you know what you're doing. It'll probably take you some time to figure it out because it's kind of weird. It's like one of those jumps where you have to like, you definitely need to know what you're doing. Now here, you see me doing a lot of wall kicks. these wall kicks are slowly changing my angle. Okay, and that's going to help me because I need to see that blue platform on the bottom of the screen. I need to get back to there, but I need to have like a straight angle to make it there. So you see me literally like stall out and do a bunch of wall kicks. That's like on purpose. So I'm literally trying to like straighten out. And okay, so guess what time it is? Reclimb time, yay! So now we have a pretty big reclimb, unfortunately. So that's why like you guys might be surprised watching this start. Like I think a lot of people when they think of Divine Sentence, they think of like, oh, it's this really exciting, badass level, like awesome. It's actually got some like I don't know. It's not the most exciting star. I think if you want to see an exciting star, I think course 14 and QQ are more exciting. Like yeah, they're a lot easier. I think they're probably more exciting. I would still say this is more exciting than course 15. Course 15 is kind of actually a slow burn type level. But I don't know. So you have to do this was probably the hardest part of like the reclimb. So at least now I have that if you remember, I have that blue switch pressed. So I don't have to do that part again. I could just jump right to this. So at least it's a little shorter. But now I have to do slopes again. And I told you guys, slopes is kind of hard. Like, and I didn't like having to do it again because now we're kind of late in the star. It would feel like kind of a buzzkill if I died. I do like one pause on that slope just to get my bearings. These cubes are sketchy. All right, so here, this is the closest I ever came to dying. Look at that. Whew. That was right on the bottom. So Viper's right. That was sketch. That's probably my closest call in this star, which, if I were to pat myself on the back for a second, that being your closest call in the entire star, that's pretty good. But yeah, that was rough. I almost died there. And I've actually died there doing this recline. By the way, okay, so I should mention real quick. So now that if you guys remember, I got that red earlier, right? On it, I did that triple jump wall kick. So just yesterday, or not yesterday, the day before the star, I came up with that strat. So I came up with a more stable strat where I don't have to like do that triple jump, and like get the red again or do the red area again. So I came up with that yesterday. This jump was 3 for 3 in practice in attempt, so it paid off. So I came up with just another example of consistency, like coming up with safe strats. Yep. So doing a big reclimb. I guess I could take this time to talk about real quick, like my thoughts on this level. I have really mixed feelings about this level. It's definitely not one of my favorites in this hack. Like it is cool the amount of strategy that goes into it. Like it's cool. I don't know. Actually playing it though, I don't know. I didn't love it to be honest. Like some people might be sad to hear me say that, but that's my opinion. I didn't love this one. I don't know for whatever reason. I think it was a little too much at times. Couldn't get it. I couldn't. And I don't know. Reds was. I was stressed for Reds. Yeah, thankfully we got the best level next. Though course 12 is going to be an absolute banger. Like Cabania just really like did his best on that one. All right, guys. Remember I said 3 times you got to beat this jump. 3 out of 3. That's the thing. So if you want to get this star, you got to be freaking good at this jump, dude. Because you got to do it 3 times. Like you can't just be like okay this jump. You have to like have this jump's number, dude. Yep. The quarter frame arches were not loving me today. Sometimes I get them fast. Not today. That's okay. Let's see. Dude, I got instant again. Okay. So not only did I get all the jump 3 times, I actually went 3 for 3. Like I never even had to retry it, which is rare. I don't know if I've ever done that to be honest, so that might have been a new first. I will say this day I was playing very well. I was playing very well. I almost had the star like 90 minutes before. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I almost had it earlier. So I would argue this was like a generational form. In that moment, like today, I actually might have been one of the best people to ever play this level. I know it sounds like huge glaze, but it might actually be true. Okay, this is an awkward jump that I did die on once. Kind of weird, like height control. Plus, you got to do some straining. Kind of weird. Here we have like one of those weird. I don't even know what you call those jumps, dude. Akira was just throwing everything in at this point. All right, up until this point, I've only had like 4 attempts to get here, so I'm pretty damn far. I actually still have a lot left, but this is the part of the star where I made sure to definitely do a lot of like practice segments because like we're getting to the end game. Like we really have like one more big path to do, so we're getting there. But we also have like a very consistently hard stretch coming up. There's no like terrible jump left. It's just very consistently hard. Yeah, this jump is really effed. Yeah. Are you talking about these wall kicks, Viper? You talking about these coming up? Yeah. So this section coming up was like really cooked. At first, I'm like, I don't even know if I can do this jump. So the thing about these wall kicks, it feels like they were kind of made with you being able to like use D-pad cam like mid wall kick. But the thing is, I've never been able to do that. So I feel like I had to compensate here. And as you see, I'm not really doing any D-pad changes. So I had to come up with a lot of camera work here to make this work. So you see, like my camera changes are very deliberate. So like here, I'm always making sure I can kind of see what I'm doing. So here, I'm gonna change because you always want to be able to see at least one of the walls, right? Maybe one of the other walls is obscured, but you have to be able to see one. Otherwise, you're cooked. So that was a hard jump. I died on that once. So remember I said 4 attempts made it that far? One ended on those wall kicks. I died right in the beginning. Okay, here, this is another cooked section. I'm surprised I never died to this. This is hard. Like this, you just got to play really well. I'm not gonna lie. We have a slope section. We have a fire spewer. So what I'd recommend is like doing what I'd call normalized movement. That means you do like the same thing every time. So the normalized movement makes it where I do a certain amount of things and I time it with a cycle. So I don't have to worry about that fire splitter hitting me if I do the proper sequence of moves. Basically, that's the idea. Maybe you can come up with a different one, but usually it's going to look something like that probably. Okay, this isn't too bad. We're going to do an arch, so I want it to be like right on the edge. You have to watch the amps here. Like, you can hit those amps like surprisingly low. You'd be like surprised. You don't want to play with those. I died on those at practice sometimes. Like, they're actually no joke. Okay, now here's something I'm really proud of. This is the star 5 path. I watched a lot of people do this path, like people who did the star. A lot of people said this was the hardest path for them. So I'm really proud of the fact that I actually never died to it. So this is a path I never died to. It is kind of late in the star, so that kind of makes you lock in. But I'm happy I never died to it. So first, by the way, so this, see me go for a pause there. You want to get a late frame wall kick there. In fact, if you don't get a late frame wall kick, I'd say go back. You actually can go back, retry it. You really want a late frame wall kick there because that shit is low. That coin is low. If you don't know what I mean by late frame wall kick, I believe you have 5 frames to wall kick. You want to get it basically on like the last frame, maybe last 2 frames. That kind of makes it where you're not going to have like much momentum and you're going to be good. Here I go for a chain long jump. That's another little piece of intended, by the way. If anyone's curious, that chain long jump, that's intended. So that's Pete doing more intended stuff. That's a little thing, but that's minor. This part's awkward. I probably almost died there a little bit. Because, I don't know, like the fact that the wall kicks are off screen. A lot of awkward jumps here. This is what everybody said when they, like everybody said this when they talked about the star. Awkward jumps. Again, that lava bounce, awkward. But like, I don't know, this path I practiced a lot as well. And I feel like I just got consistent at this stuff. Even though it's awkward, like I found a way around it. Like I feel like I got good at these, dude. I mean, this was my new hardest star, so I needed to get consistent. Like I couldn't not be consistent at this. Otherwise, I just spend like forever on this. Okay, this part's tricky. So this white slope is really fast, and you got to beat to snuff it too. So you have options here. You could decide to kill it. Ooh, that's bad. So what I went for there, I tried to kill to snuff it. I missed. So that means I had to like retreat. See how I'm back here? I retreated. Hold on a second. We got a comment coming in from Viper. More so when you hit the wall, you fall down and you can wall kick later if a wall is thin. And you get a 5th frame wall kick, you just wall kick off the air. Yeah, that's kind of how I think of it too. Like a 5th frame wall kick, like it feels like you're wall kicking just like like literally beneath the thing, like in the air. Like it's weird, but it was really helpful. Like once I learned that, dude, that jump was like unlocked. Like I was struggling with that coin, coming up with like weird strategies to get it. Once I figured out the late frame wall kick thing, bam, it was unlocked, dude. Like it was crazy. I should mention, by the way, I learned that from Pluto. He said in his video, like you go for like a late frame. All right, so let's try to snuff it again. So like I said, your goal with this snuff it, like I like to kill him because once I kill him, then I can focus on my slope jumps. But I went for that kick before and I missed. I think this time I got him. Bam. See that kick? Bam. See, once he's dead, then I can just focus on my jumps because these are actually not easy to time. It's kind of stressful. You have to time slope jumps and you have to keep like one eye on the snuff it. I know. You cannot kill him. Like when I went for the normal star, I didn't kill him. I just kept going. You could do that. After a certain point, he can't hit you, so you could do that. I just like killing him because then I can focus on my slope jumps. I think that's a good thing. All right, this guy's coins I need, so I need to make sure like I get his coins because I need health. Because I'm about to take 4 damage, so it would be really bad if I didn't have health. Okay, so now we're done with star 5. We're gonna go to star 6. We're on the last star path. Well, I mean you could say 5 and 6 is like 1 star path for this star, but so here you have to long jump all the way down. Now there's a couple things you can do. You could go for a ledge grab there, or you could try to get like a Goomba bounce. I think what's much safer than either of those is actually just taking the fall damage. Obviously, you just have to make sure you're not like near the edge. But I actually went for the fall damage there. That was like something I started doing in attempts actually. By the way, so you know how I mentioned that 3 sections are like still alive? All 3 are still going because all 3 made it this far. That wall kick section is kind of filler, but it's not free. Like I've died to it in practice. But coming up though, we have the jump where you know I said I had 3 attempts left. 2 of them died here. So the last 2 died here. Well, not in this jump. Sorry, actually the next one. This part's fine. What you have to do here is you have to jump early because you need to like pull this heave-ho away because the heave-ho, if you don't like interact with him, he's gonna like stop right on this platform and get in your way. So what you have to do is you have to like pull him away, then you go. Okay, this is the jump that I died to twice. But honestly, the deaths were kind of BS. Like I'm gonna talk about it in a second. So this is thins. So this level does have a thins because you know every level's got to have thins. This is a hard thins, but it's not terrible. It's a weird hexagon thins. It's probably a little harder than TD Reds. It's not terrible. I'm not even giving it 5 out of 5 difficulty. I think it's a lot easier than Spawn. You know what also makes it a lot easier? Firsties can kind of like cook on this too, because these firsties I'm getting, these firsties help a lot. So if you just grind out firsties, and I actually got a firstie all 3 of those on the first try. This is the hard part. So I'm going to explain this part real quick. So I need a firstie, obviously. I'll explain what I do. So I go firstie, then I'm holding left here. Holding left. Just holding left. Here, once I hit that wall kick, I'm going to hold right and A. I'm holding A, I'm holding right. Then at the last second I hold in, turn the camera, boom. So that last part's hard. Like that last part is really all the difficulty in that jump. Just getting that last wall kick. One of my attempts died to that. Okay, here's the most BS part of the star, and here's the thing that pisses me off, right? You have to jump over there to that platform. There's a nasty invis wall. And it like wraps around the whole pillar, and I actually died here. I hit that invis wall. This was like an hour before I got the star, maybe 90 minutes. I was pissed off, dude. I feel like I got scammed. At least I had a happy ending, because the last attempt got past it here, got the star. So I got the star now. But I was just pissed off, because it just feels like such BS. Like, it just feels so unfair. And you can die that late into a star, to an invis wall, bro. Ridiculous. Okay, here, I actually had a close call here. I almost died here. I was, like, nervous. Not here. I think this last one, I almost died. Let's see. This was close. So here I'm using pauses to kind of, like, time it. Dude, I should not have gone for that. Why did I go for that? It worked, but dude, that was close. If I died to that jump, that would have been so sad. By the way, what am I doing? I've never done. You can tell I'm nervous. I've never jumped there in Mario Cam. That was weird. Okay, so this is the grand finale, guys. This is the last hard part. If you get past this part, you're good. You're not going to die past this. So I think this D-pad is from an Enlick. So again, I just steal a lot of strats because I don't want to come up with my own angle. I just want to find what works and do that. Here we have holes. Like Viper says, it's kind of like copy-pasted jump a million times. So holes are tricky because look, you can't really see Mario. Like Mario is completely underground. So the hard thing about this is you have to get into a rhythm. You also have to have height control. So if you can tell here, I'm doing 1, 2, 3, 4. Now on the edge, I do 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm getting a rhythm for it, so I try to get muscle memory. On the edge, you do 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. Bam. And unfortunately, we have to not only do we have to get this red, we also have to go back. Going back's a little harder too. So you have to come up with another setup. Now here's the interesting thing about these holes, by the way. Some of these holes have corner physics, some do not. You have to be aware which one has corner physics. This one has corner physics. I'm in the corner, right? After that first one, though, I'm starting to pull back because eventually they're going to stop having corner physics. I believe they stop having corner physics right around this one. So I'm starting to pull back because some of them don't. So now I'm going back 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, getting in the rhythm. This is a 1, 2, 3. And you have to make sure you're straining back because you can easily go too far and get corner physics. A lot of these do have corner physics. You're going to see when I go back and start doing the corner physics again. So now I'm doing these ones. Okay, these ones do have corner physics, right? So you see me doing more wall kicks now. The tricky part about these last couple is the distance is really far. So you need to really go for a good wall kick here because the distance is further. So I kind of use the corner physics to my advantage and to make sure I get those. So luckily I never died to that jump. I know Morningstorm I did once at the end, so I'm really glad I didn't. That was such a random shade throwing at Morningstorm there. I just like threw shade at Morningstorm. Damn. No offense to Morningstorm. He's kind of the GOAT at this level because he did all intended. So yeah, that red, like again, you really shouldn't die this ending. Like, you really shouldn't. Here we go. So here's the star. Got to do one last jump to test your nerves. I wasn't gonna die to this, guys. You know what was weird though? I did a little ground pound. I was nervous. Bam, dude. Let's go. It's like it is crazy. Like that star, man. So I like before I hop off, I'll just talk about it real quick. So the thing is about that star, it only took a little over a week, and maybe people kind of interpret that the wrong way. Like people be like, okay, that took like a little over a week. Was that star kind of easy for you, or was it not that hard, or like not a big deal? Here's the thing, though. Here's what you got to remember. I spent like months. I'm talking months going for the normal stars, right? People miss this point because I don't know. People like refuse to think about this. The normal stars prepared me a lot for that, right? That star, that red coin star, it doesn't have a lot of new sections. It's putting together what you've already done, right? So what I kind of do when I play levels like this is I learn all the jumps when I do the normal stars. So when I get to reds, I just got to put it all together. I didn't do a lot of practice for reds. Reds took you're probably thinking about 20 hours. Most of that's attempts. It's not a lot because you learn from the normal stars. The normal stars are very hard. They can almost get their own commentary video. I mean, I'm probably just going to do reds, but normal stars are very hard. They teach you well. Like I was talking to if you guys know Crossbunny, like he was going for just reds. I'm like, dude, no offense. If you just go for reds in this level, I don't think anybody's getting reds. Like nobody's gonna get reds out of the blue. You got to do the normal stars. The normal stars teach you the jumps. I feel like I've hammered in that point enough because I don't know if people realize like this level, it's not really about reds. Reds was like the cherry on top. The challenge was overcoming these normal stars, which in themselves was very hard. Um, star 2, star 4, star 6, really, really tough, really precise. Like they actually had, like as hard as some of these sections were, the worst stuff was not in reds. So Akuro did save. There was a lot of 5 out of 5 sections that didn't make reds. So Bro saved the worst for normal stars, thankfully. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. Um, Unfortunately, I don't love this level. I don't hate it. It's kind of mid for me, unfortunately. I know some people love this level, so they might be like, "What?" They might be like bummed to hear that, but I didn't love it. It's probably sitting at about a 5 or 6 out of 10 for me. It is unique. I mean, it does take a lot of jumps from DE, but like it is still unique. I think the level layout is kind of interesting. It is unique. Like I do feel like a lot of people just make the same, like transcending the rainbow. Cerium just made the same level layout, copy pasted it 30 times. Like when you play like levels like this, you're, okay, the layout is interesting. Like it is unique if you think about it. Like it was cool. So there were some parts, and like the strategy to it was interesting at times. Like Viper and I had a good session where we just like did strat finding for like hours, and it was interesting. That was like literally the day before I got the star. Like, there's still always so much strategy to talk about. Um, so it's an interesting level, definitely. I think it'll make you use your brain. So if you guys want like a mental exercise, like it'll make you use your brain. So it is interesting in that regard. So yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about future plans. So I'm gonna obviously take a little break. If you guys have been keeping track of my SNR playthrough, I only have course 12 left. Of like the levels. I have overworld 3, but just course 12 of the levels. I'm not gonna be jumping right into that. I don't know when I'll start that. Maybe in like a month or so. I don't know. I want to take some time off, just relax. Um, until then, I'm gonna do some more retros of Viper. We're gonna keep it casual. More retros. I also on my own time. I think I'm gonna try to do Japanese Community Battle Act 3. So I think I'm gonna be going for that. I knew I wanted to play that. I wasn't sure when. I think I might, because if I don't play course 12 for like a whole month, I have a lot of time. I think somewhere in that month I'm gonna go for Japanese Community Battle Act 3. I feel like I want to beat that and then beat SNR. I don't want to beat SNR and then beat that. I feel like it'd be better if I beat SNR after. Like you save SNR for last. So we're gonna go for that. Other than that, maybe some Let's Plays with the guys. But yeah, so there'll definitely be some stuff. But eventually I am gonna go for course 12. And Viper said he's gonna go for course 12 with me. So Viper and I are gonna be doing course 12. I know it's gonna be really interesting, fun level, great level, well designed. So yeah, we are going to be doing course 12. My goal, I do want to take out SNR. So obviously, I think that's obvious, right? Like you don't go for divine sentence and then just be like, all right, I'm not going to beat the game. Like, nah, I'm going to try to beat it. I think it's going to be frustrating and annoying, and there might still be a lot left. Like, unfortunately, I don't really know. I wouldn't really say I'm close to beating this game because I still have a tier 8 level left, and it's a frustrating one. So, yeah. Anyway, okay. I think I've waffled enough after the video. I'm gonna end it here. Hope this was interesting for you guys. And yeah, comment down below how you guys feel about these. I like doing them. Let me know if there's any way we can improve though, improve the experience. No, yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see y'all next time. Laters.